You may have already heard of the concept of the golden circle by Simon Sinek. He has spoken about it in a TED talk that went on to become viral and has written about it in a book that became a bestseller.
Why, how, what? This little idea explains why some organizations and some leaders are able to inspire where others aren't. Let me define the terms really quickly. Every single person, every single organization on the planet knows what they do 100%. Some know how they do it, whether you call it your differentiating value proposition or your proprietary process or your USP. But very, very few people or organizations know why they do what they do. And by why, I don't mean to make a profit. That's a result. It's always a result. By why, I mean what's your purpose? What's your cause? What's your belief? Why does your organization exist? Why do you get out of bed in the morning? And why should anyone care? Well, as a result, the way we think, the way we act, the way we communicate is from the outside in. It's obvious. We go from the clearest thing to the fuzziest thing. But the inspired leaders and the inspired organizations, regardless of their size, regardless of their industry, all think, act, and communicate from the inside out. Let me give you an example. I use Apple because they're easy to understand and everybody gets it. If Apple were like everyone else, a marketing message from them might sound like this. We make great computers. They're beautifully designed, simple to use, and user-friendly. Want to buy one? Meh. And that's how most of us communicate. That's how most marketing is done, that's how most sales is done, and that's how most of us communicate interpersonally. We say what we do, we say how we're different or how we're better, and we expect some sort of behavior, a purchase, a vote, something like that. Here's our new law firm. We have the best lawyers with the biggest clients. We have, we always perform for our clients, do business with us. Here's our new car. It gets great gas mileage. It has, leather seats. Buy our car. But it's uninspiring. Here's how Apple actually communicates. Everything we do, we believe in challenging the status quo. We believe in thinking differently. The way we challenge the status quo is by making our products beautifully designed, simple to use, and user-friendly. We just happen to make great computers. Want to buy one? Totally different, right? You ready to buy a computer from me?
The idea of the golden circle also explains why some self-help techniques work and others don't. The ones that fail go from the outside in. They ask you, what do you want to experience? Happiness, self-confidence, self-esteem, better relationships. And then they tell you how you can experience it by following these 4 steps, through these 10 simple ways, by doing 15 things in the morning, by following 20 routines that successful people follow, etc., etc. These manipulation techniques may work for a while, but soon you will find yourself reverting back to your old ways. This is because we may have addressed the questions what and how, but not the question why. Why you do what you do hasn't changed, and so you still lack the genuine inspiration to change. By why I mean your belief system, the reality lens through which you see the world. Let me give you an example. Some time ago, one of my acquaintances, a teenager, pinged me on Gmail chat because he needed some counseling. What's your problem? I asked him. His problem was he had issues controlling his anger at the workplace. He found himself mentally disturbed most of the time and once even shouted at his boss. My next question was how? How did he get angry? By how, I meant the circumstances and situation that aroused him at office. This time, he had to think for a while. Then he typed his reply. He got angry when he got a negative feedback from his colleagues or his boss. He felt frustrated at office because he wasn't respected there. Finally, I asked him the question why. Why did he think he got angry? Was it that he got a negative feedback when he didn't deserve one? Was he not getting the amount of respect that he deserved? I saw he was taking too long to reply. The chat box showed intermittently that he was typing. It looked like he was framing and reframing a reply. So I suggested to him that he reply me by mail whenever he was ready with the answer. He never replied. I suppose he got an answer to why he got angry, but was too embarrassed to share his answer with me. He got angry because he believed he was too special. His reality lens showed him an enlarged image of himself, which showed him a view of the world wherein he was at its very center. It's important to acknowledge that when we have been wearing a reality lens for a long time, the tendency is to forget that we are even wearing one, and that it is modifying our vision of everything we see, including ourselves. The metaphor of a lens is useful to understand this phenomenon. For those of you who use contact lenses, you know how once you get adapted to them, they become a part of your being. So much so that you sometimes go to bed without removing them. The first step in self-improvement is to realize that our only contact with the external world is through our reality lens. And so, it's the reality lens that we have to first work upon. Bhagavad Gita starts with the why. The entire philosophy is based upon understanding the loopholes in the reality lens we are currently wearing and switching to a better reality lens slowly but surely. What exactly is a reality lens provided by the Bhagavad Gita? We are going to explore that as the course progresses.